All right, 13.3. So I can graph proportional relationships. So a proportional relationship is when two quantities, x and y, are proportional. The relationship can be represented by the equation y equals mx, where m is the slope of the line. Should be 4 blanks there. All right, so the graph of y equals mx of a line passes through the origin, like we learned in chapter 5, and it is also a straight line. So it goes through this section here, and it is straight. So graphing a proportional relationship, we are going to find the cost in dollars for ounces of frozen yogurt, which is represented by y equals 0.5 or 5/10, or in this case, 50 cents, times x, which would be the quantity of ounces. Graph the equation and interpret the slope. So we are going to plug in 0 for x. So we have y equals 0.5 times 0, which equals 0. So our point is 0, 0. When I plug in a 1, so y equals 0.5 times 1, we get 0.5. So my graph, or my point, is 1, 0.5. When I plug in a 2, so y equals 0.5 times 2, I get 1. So 2, 1. And then when I plug in a 3, so y equals 0.5 times 3, I get 1.5. So my point is 3, 1.5. All right, so method 2 would be to use the slope equation. So y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. First, let's graph it so we can actually find the slope of this. So we have 0, 0. Then we have go over 1 up 0.5, so about halfway. And then over 2 up to 1. And then over 3 up to 1.5. And so this is a straight line, just hard to tell, but it goes through 0, 0. My slope, if I use rise over run, my rise, I go up, and I'm going to use these 2 points here because they were whole numbers, easier to count on a graph. I rose up 1, and I went over 1, 2. So my rise was 1, my run was 2. So my slope is a half. Method 2 would be to use the points. So like I said, I'm going to use these 2 points because they were whole numbers. And so if I have the point 0, 0 and 2, 1, my x1, my y1, my x2, my y2, y2 minus y1, so 1 minus 0, over 2 minus 0 equals 1 over 2. So I get the same slope no matter what method I use. I want you to try it, and when you try it, I want you to make a table on your own so that way you can find your points, and then I want you to graph it, and then I also want you to do method 2.